It's Survivor and Scrappy Mania, and today I want to go over an album that I created trying to use, try not to make too much scraps. And the idea for this album came because I made this other album. I got a tutorial from J-Ann B Designs. J-Ann B Design, that's her YouTube channel. And she also has a video on Ustream and teach you how to create an album, and the size of the album is perfect for these matte stacks. But when I was creating this album, I mean, it's a gorgeous album. I really liked the way she kind of teach you how to put it together. The only thing I didn't like is, let me show you the basket of scraps, because you take an 8 by 11 piece of, or 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, and you have to cut it in order to make the 4.5 by 6 size for your mat. So when I cut it, I made all these scraps trying to cut it in order to make my album. Now, it's okay that I have all this scrap because I can always use this white cardstock and use it for my stamps and to make embellishments. But I thought there has to be a better way in that I can create an album and minimize the amount of scraps that gets produced after the album. So, and I think I achieved that. I created this album that you see here. And I created it because I wanted to use my 6x6 pad. Now, for this album, I used a whole 48 pages of my, actually 46 pages of this 6x6, but which was fine. And then it has mats, so I was able to create mats. And I try to stay within 6x6 size. And here's another mat, and I haven't bind it yet. I'm going to use my Bind It All to bind the spine here. And here's the other. This has a pocket there, a pocket up here. Okay, you can put a good size photo on each side. Same as here. This is using some of the scraps left over after I cut some of the pages. I use this to create like a photo mat, and this is 4x6, and there's also another mat in here. Let's see if I can get it out. Here's another mat, and I need to put tabs on these or something in order to make it, to take it out, to get it out easy. Here's another one page, one pocket here, one pocket here. And here's another one. This one's using like a waterfall kind of accordion. It's not a waterfall, but more like an accordion kind of matting here. It still has a pocket in the back, even though you have pictures there. You can put, there's a pocket back here, and then there's another pocket. So I try to minimize my scraps. So the leftover scraps, after I made these pages, I made some of these pages, and I also, this is for the tutorial, so I made some other pages. This is kind of most of the scraps that I got. Not too much. And then most of the scraps came from cutting the papers out in order to kind of put it on my photo mats and things like that. But it was not from the book itself. So let me go ahead and show you how I did it. So what I did is, you need 3 pieces of 12 by 12 cardstock, and you're going to cut it in half. So you're going to make 2 pieces. Each piece is going to measure 6 by 12. Okay? Then once you do that, you're going to score it in the middle to make it 6 inches. And then you're going to score it on the side, and you're going to score it a 1/4 inch on each side. So we need a 1/4 inch in order, that's going to be what we're going to use in order to glue up pockets together. Okay, And because we fold a 1/4 inch on each side, you're going to lose 1/2 inch on the 6-inch side. So what I did is I created these bands, and these bands are 1/2 inch, because that way I'm going to use my Bind It All. So 1/2 inch is taken from the Bind It All, and then a 1/4 inch on each side. So 1/4 inch will be glue here, and the other 1/4 inch will be glue here, plus the 1/2 inch of the Bind It All will make it 6 inches again. And so that worked pretty good. So let me show you exactly how to do the first page. So I folded in 6. So on the 12-inch side, fold it in half. On the 6-inch side, a 1/4 inch each side. You're gonna fold it up. And actually, I just did this I just was testing my measurements with my sister. We scrap every Friday night, and it came out pretty good. She was able to kind of do the pages over there in her house through the internet, while I was kind of teaching her how to do it over here on my side. So it came out pretty good. And she had minimal scrap. What was left over after she was done with the project was some bands that she had, and then she just had one little piece of paper like this size left over, which is, I thought, was it was good, because you don't waste too much paper. Okay, so the next thing you're gonna do, once you fold everything and you use your bone folder to kind of really make a good crease, you want to cut in an angle on your paper here. You want to cut one side at an angle, so that way after the fold, you're going to cut the other side at an angle after the fold. Okay, so you see it'll be like that after the fold. And you're going to do the same thing on this side. And then you're going to take a ruler and your knife, and you are going to cut the 1/4 inch side on half of your pocket. And you're going to do the same thing on the other one. So you're going to cut the 1/4 inch fold from one side of your pocket on either side. Essentially what you're doing is, when you cut that, you're going to be able to put some adhesive, and then your pocket will close nicely like that. Okay? So I was using my score tape, but for some reason it's not really adhering that well. Well, let me try it again. Let me try some score tape on here. But actually I was using glue for my other pages, and I thought that one worked a little better. But let me attempt to use score tape again. See if I can get it working. I might end up using just regular glue. Okay, and then you can cut an angle here if you like, to make it a little nicer crease, or nicer edge when you put it together. Okay. Then and then the other side. Okay. So there's my pocket. So this is my first pocket. Now I'm going to take, you're going to take 3 12x12, cut it in half. And then you're going to take another 12x12 and cut that one in half as well. And then you're going to cut 1.5 strips on that 12x12. you're going to cut 1.5 strips, which is be 1.5 by 6 for your binding. This is going to be your binding. And then you're gonna fold it at a 1/4 inch. So you're gonna fold it at a 1/4 inch. Then 3/4 of an inch, and then 1 1/4 inch. So you're gonna fold it a 1/4 inch, 3/4, and 1 1/4. And you're just gonna fold it over. And then fold this over and use your bund folder to kind of really make good creases here. Okay. Once you do that, I'm just going to glue the middle piece together because I want to create a nice rigid binding right here. Okay. We're not going to glue the tabs yet. We're just going to do the middle part. And for this, I like using liquid adhesive. And actually for my whole project, I used liquid adhesive. I don't know, I had better luck with it than my score tape. And then just make sure you really press that down. I always have a handy wipe just to help clean the glue on my pages. Okay. Now that we have that nicely adhere, we're going to take our pocket with the pocket up, so the pocket side up. We're going to glue the first tab that you see here, so this tab right here. Put some more liquid adhesive here, and we're going to glue this piece to that tab. Okay, and you'll see it right there. So you're going to glue that tab to your back end, and then you're going to take some more liquid adhesive, put a thin line on the front, and then you're going to take your other tab and just glue it down. And then clean any excess that you have. Okay. So there's your first pocket. Okay. So I already went ahead and created 4 of these. So you want to do 6. Let me do one more. So you fold it in half. So a 6 by 12, fold it in half, turn it on the 6-inch side, score a 1/4 inch on each side. Okay, fold it up. Okay, cut at an angle, here, and cut half of the 1/4 inch. I'm gonna cut. Okay, turn it around and cut the other piece off. Okay. Okay. Use your bone folder. Make sure you make a nice crease on all this. And then I'm going to take either score tape or liquid glue. I'm going to take some liquid glue. Put a small bead on each side. And I'm using Scotch glue. And then just glue it on. And you can use your bone folder to really make sure that it adheres well. And I didn't put enough on this side, so I can put a little more and adhere it. Okay, so once I do that, I take a strip of 1.5 by 6. I score it at 1/4 inch, 3/4 of an inch, and another 1/4 inch. Fold that in half. Then bring the 1/4 inch end up. Bring the other 1/4 inch up. So you have something that looks like this. And then you're going to take some adhesive in the middle. You're going to glue this piece down. Okay. Make sure it adheres well. And then you're going to take some more adhesive. You're going to put it on one side. You're going to bring your page over, or your pocket, and you're going to line up the 6-inch side, or the pocket needs to be open on the top. You're going to adhere that to your binding. Then you're going to take the other tab, put some glue, and I adhere it on the binding as well. Okay, and then clean any excess. Baby wipe is very good for this. And there you have it. So now we have, we'll just do 5 pockets. Okay, and I think that's how many I have here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pockets. Okay, so now let's go ahead and cut. Because I've been using it, usually you need like 6 pieces of 12 by 12. So 3 12 by 12 for you're gonna use 2.5 for the 5 pages. Then you're gonna use the other 6 by 12, the leftover, to make your 1.5 inch binds. And then the rest, you're going to take the other 6 by 12 here. And I'm going to go ahead and cut 2 of them. So you're probably going to need like 6 12 by 12. And remember, our goal is to try not to make too many scraps. We really want to keep the scraps to the minimum. So 4, and I don't want to waste too much paper. So 4 of these is good enough. Now the next pocket we're gonna make will be, let's see, let's go ahead and make this pocket. So it's a pocket here, a 6-inch here, and then there's a tab that's gonna glue on this side. So let's make this one, and for that one I would need it's going to be 6, so we're going to keep this intact. This needs to be 6, but we're going to cut it, and it's going to be, let's see, I got the measurements here. It's going to be 6 by 9. That's what I have. So 6 by 9. So let's cut this 9 inches. And save this. This is going to be a pocket. See, this one, we're going to use it to make this pocket right here. Okay, this little pocket. Save this. Don't discard that. So now we're going to score at, let's see, what do I have there? And actually, remember when we cut it, it's actually going to be 5.5. So the binding is what gives us the extra half, but it's 5.5 right here. So we want to kind of score it at 3 inches and 8.5. Let's see, 3 inches, 8.5, and then 1/8 inch. We want to do a 1/8 inch, so 8.5, and then 8 and 5/8. So 8.5, 8 and 5/8. You need a little gusset. So that's what we're doing. We're making like a little gusset. So that way if we put embellishments, we have, it will give in the album. So I've been making, if you look at this, I've been making like gussets. So that way if I do put a lot of embellishments, at least I have a little space to grow. So that's 1/8 of an inch. So that's going to be my gusset. And actually, that's here. It's this one. That's the gusset right here. And then I'm going to fold this up. And then fold that in. Now, because we want to keep our scraps to the minimum, I did not cut the, ideally what usually you do is you cut it like, instead of 6 inches, at 6.5 inches, and that 1/2 inch is what you use for the sides in order to make the accordion. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use my scraps. So what you do is you're going to take 1 inch by 3, and you're going to use that in order to bind your sides. And I have a lot of little scraps around, so I'm going to cut this. This is actually, so we're going to cut this at 6. So let me get my cutter. So we need to cut this 3 inches. And actually we can, we're going to cut it at 3 inches by 1 inches. Okay. And that's what we're going to use in order to bind it. So we're going to fold this in half. And if you want to use washi tape, that would be an excellent use for washi tape. You can probably put some washi tape on the side in order to help bind it. Okay. So I'm going to take some glue, and I'm going to glue one side first. And I'm going to make sure I line, even though notice that I'm a little off on my measurement there, but I can cut that off. I want to make sure this aligns with the top. So this part needs to align to the top. And then bring this over. And really use your bone folder to really crease that down. You use your scissors to cut just that little piece off. Okay, so that way it's perfect. Then take the other little piece of scraps. Align it. And then put some glue here. And then use your bone folder to really make a crease there. Make sure that it adheres very well. If you have score tape, that's fine. And then cut the excess off so that way it's even on that side and on this side. And remember, you're going to cover all that with paper, with pattern paper, like I did here. You won't even see those the binding here because the pattern paper will cover it up. Now I'm going to take my pocket that I just made. Okay. I'm going to take my first pocket, and then I can either attach it here and it opens up to the back, or I can attach it. So this is the binding. I can attach it to the back and then bring this over here. And see, it will give me plenty of space for my binding. It's not going to be all the way over to the edge. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to have it facing the front. And you're going to glue it. Remember I made a gusset? So you're going to glue it from the edge, from the bottom edge to the first fold line. Right there. And that's it. There is your first page. So make sure you kind of adhere it down very well. So there you see how I adhered it to that first line, and then the second line is actually my extra space in case I do put bulk on my album. So you got page 1 done. Okay, so now remember we had this extra piece or cardstock. So let's go ahead and use that to make a pocket. We can make a pocket here. And I want to go ahead and score it. So I'm going to score a 1/4 inch on each side. Okay. And then I want to turn it over to the 3-inch side, and I want to score a 1/4 inch on the bottom. So I got 1/4 inch on each side, a 1/4 inch on the bottom. I want to cut out this triangle here. Okay. And then I want to taper my edges. And I want to taper my edges here. And then you can taper your edges on the side here if you like. And then fold everything in. Okay, now I want to adhere this like so to my page, and I even could, if I want to really, I can adhere it the back. I can adhere it to the back of my page like so. like here. And I think I'll do that because I want to make sure I keep it nice and secure. So I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on the bottom flap. My binding is on to my left. My pocket's on the top. And I'm going to go ahead and adhere the bottom piece to the bottom portion of my pocket. Okay, make sure that adheres very well. Then the next thing I want to do is I want to leave this open because it's easier for me to go ahead and put pattern paper here and then pattern paper in here and then adhere it to the pattern paper. Otherwise, if I don't do that, then I have to kind of cut it, the pattern paper, in order to fit it through here. So for this page, leave it open until you're ready to cover your page with pattern paper. Then you can go ahead and close it. So that's atom number 2 is what I just showed you there. So the next thing I want to do is show you how to create this little thing here. So let's go ahead and make this embellishment here. And for that I need another 12 by 6 piece of cardstock. And for this one we are going to cut, let's see, just to make sure I got my measurements right. This one is also going to be cut I'm going to be cut 4 by 10. Okay, we're going to cut it 4 by 10. So 4. And save this piece by 10. And go ahead and save this piece as well. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to fold on the 10-inch side. You want to go ahead and score at the 4 inches, the 8 inches, and that will form our accordion. Okay. I'll put that aside. Okay. And then for this one, this is going to be the bottom pocket. Okay. So for this one, we want to cut it at 6 inches. So this is actually going to be 6 inches by 2 inches. So because remember, we cut 2 inches off. This is actually a 4 by 10. So there's 2 inches left. So that's going to be our pocket. Then what we're going to do again is we're going to score a 1/4 inch on each side. Then we're going to turn it over and we're going to score a 1/4 inch, oops, at the bottom. And you're going to do the same thing you did with the other one. Let me make sure, hold on. Okay. And you're going to do the same thing as the other pocket. You're going to cut the square off. You're going to taper the corners. Okay. Then you're going to fold everything up Use your bone folder. Kind of square everything. And actually we might want to cut a little bit because my pocket, this one you're going to trim a little bit off. I'm just going to trim maybe a 1/4 inch off of the bottom piece. We just want to make sure that when we glue it, it's going to glue exactly inside my pocket as you see there. Okay? And let me go ahead and get another pocket. And we're going to do the same thing. So now either you can do it on the back if you like, or you can do it on the front. So let's see, this one's going to open this way. This one's going to be this way. This one's going to be this way. We might want to put it on the back. So for this one, we want the bind to be on our right. And we're going to go ahead and adhere our pocket in the back side of our page. And we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to put some adhesive here and glue that in place. Glue it in place. We'll adhere that to our pocket. And then this is gonna just adhere to the top like so. But before we finish it, we're gonna go ahead and adhere this to this, so that way when I glue everything together, you'll have this there and it will go down. So let me go ahead and adhere this to here. Make sure you adhere it very well. Now I'm not going to put it together because remember that we need to, and make sure you kind of fold it. We're going to go ahead and cover it with pattern paper. So you cover it with pattern paper here, and then you glue it, and then you can cover pattern paper, and you're going to put pattern paper on the back here. And then pattern paper here. Okay? So that's how this works. So now we got page 3 done. Okay, so now the next one we're going to do is just a simple pocket. So remember we had this piece left over. And we can just create a simple pocket. You can also create a simple pocket on the side. Actually you can't. Let's just do the simple pocket on this side, on here, for the front. So, in order to do that, now the reason why you can't put this here is because since this is a pocket, there's no way, I guess I can. Let's go ahead and do it on the side. Let's go ahead and do a 1/4 inch on each side. And I'm not going to go ahead and do the 1/4 inch because I want to leave enough space, enough that we can tuck a tag. If I make it too short, the tag might, you know, you might not be able to tuck it as well. Okay. So we're going to use this. And we're going to go ahead and put some adhesive. On the side. And I adhere this down. Okay. And then we can go ahead and trim this to 5.5. And we're going to fold it in half. We're going to put some adhesive on one side of our strip. Hold on, let me get a pen. Okay, and then we're going to put the next one here. And all this will get covered with pattern paper. Okay. So now we have another pocket here, and that's pretty much it for that one. Let's put this aside. So our last pocket, we have another one. This is a 12 by 6. And for this one, let's see which one we're going to make. Let's go ahead and make a short pocket. Let me see if I find one that's a short pocket like this. So we want to make a short pocket like this. Okay. So for this one, I want to cut it at 6 by, let me make sure I got my measurements right. It's actually 6 by 8.5 according to my measurements. Six by 8.5, and then I'm gonna fold it at 4 inches. Actually, it was see. Yes, 4 inches, 8 inches, and 8 and an 1/8, 1/8. So it'll be 4 inches. So there's my pocket. Eight inches. And then 1 and 1/8. Now this is a little tricky because what we really want is to be able to have a slit right here, and this is gonna attach to my, so it's gonna be like this. This is gonna be attached to the back. So, and it will make sense in a second once I kind of finish this off. So we need to put binding on each side. So let's cut. This is actually a 4x2. So we need to cut this into 1 inch. This is our kind of binding for the side. Okay. And I usually just fold it in half like so. Score it. Fold this in half. Score it. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and bind it. So I'm going to put glue on one side. And bind this piece together. Put glue on the other side. And bind this piece together. And bind this together here. Okay. Let me make sure the glue kind of adheres. Now you're probably thinking, what the heck is she doing? And then I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on this side. Just a small bead of glue to close it. And you're probably thinking, what the heck are you doing? Well, I have it close here, so what I want to do is I want to cut a sliver. So I can use my craft knife and my ruler, and I'm just going to cut a sliver off of this pocket. Okay, and now I got my pocket. And then I'm going to take my page, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere this. I can adhere it to the front, or I can adhere it to the back. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere it to the front. Yep, let me put a little more. Especially on the edges. You really want to make sure the edges are adhered to your pockets. Okay, so there's that. So now I have one pocket, another page. Where did I put the other pages? Oh, here's another page. Here's my other page that I made. And then this page. So there are some leftover scraps. I do have these from what I cut, and I do have these leftover scraps. You can use this one. This is a 6 by 6. You can use this for a photo mat. Okay? So you can cut this for a photo mat. And then you can use this one for another photo mat. You can cut it to size. There is a short little photo mat here. And of course you can cut it to size or whatever. Or you can also, and now these, you can go ahead, I put a pocket here. You can always put a pocket in the back. So let's go ahead and use these scraps. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to create another pocket in the back of here. So let's go ahead and do a 1/4 inch on each side. Because we want to use up all our scraps. Okay. Now let's go ahead and put it here. Now I'm going to use put some adhesive here first, because I do not want to create another flap there. And I'm going to put adhesive on the side, adhesive here, and I'm going to here my pocket. Okay. So now I simply just need to make a tag and then put this here as another tag. Okay? So here I got 2 more. So let's go ahead and use these up as well. And this one, I'm going to each side a 1/4 inch. Then you can add these to, you can put it in the back size here, and we'll do the same thing. And this would be easy to slip a 6 by. I mean, you can wait until you put your pattern paper before you do this pocket. But I went ahead and put it anyhow. It'll be okay too. And then the last one, this one already has a pocket. Maybe I'll put this pocket here. if I want, or maybe some, or I can put this someplace else. Anyhow, well, I think I'm done. So what I was left over for scraps, I have this, which will be for the photo mat, and then a couple of maybe strips. And actually, some of these are from my prior projects. So not a lot of scrap to compare this to this. Compare that to this. I mean, this is a lot of the scraps that I got from that other project. It was quite a bit. So I think I like this album. It's kind of economical. Then your photo mat, because you're using 6x6, your photo mats will actually just be regular 6, 12, you know, you just cut these in half, 6x6. They will fit, you just gotta, because actually this pocket is not exactly 6 inch, it's gonna be half an inch less, so it's gonna be 5.5 by 6. But just cutting, you know, half an inch off, it's fine in order to fit your mats. So let me show you my other. So here is my other ones. And then this one I basically just took another, I made another pocket and I just adhered it with a binding to the first one. So that one's very simple to do. It's just an extra pocket that I adhered to this pocket. This one I showed you how to do that one. And that one. And then this one is just simple. I had extra scraps, so I just took an extra scrap that I had and I just adhered it to the top with my half an inch, with my 1/8 of an inch gusset. So that's very simple. You don't really need measurements for that one. And then I showed you how to do this one. And that's it. So I hope you like this tutorial. Come back to see me for some more. Thank you for watching. Bye. I almost forgot to tell you, you're gonna take your round a circle punch, and you're gonna make these 1/2 inch circles on your page, so that way you can pull your tags in and out. And those are easy to do. You just take your punch, you put it upside down, you line it up where you want it. And the EK Success punch are kind of easy to use, and the Martha Stewart, because they already have like a 1/2 inch mark. Some other ones are not that easy. So you just kind of measure what's the 1/2 inch mark of your circle. And then you just insert it. Cut. And there's, to put your tag, you do the same thing on the other side. You insert it, you kind of approximate it where you want it, and cut. And it doesn't have to be exact. It'll be fine. And there you have it. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and come back to see me for some more. Thank you for watching. Bye.